It's pretty special, just being able to go back to Miami, and play football, and also having, all my family members be able to try to make it to the game and see me, because, they come up here, not so many people can come because of jobs and things like that, but everybody gets a chance to go down, to come out and see me play.
Talk about last time going down there. What was it like for you? The moment of just not only winning the game, but your touchdown was the reason we won that game. How big was that? Did you just have you be a part of that?
I wouldn't say it was the reason that we won the game, but that was a big play, to seal the deal, for us to win, and to do that in front of our home crowd, down in my hometown, and for that to be my first college touchdown ever, it was a good feeling for me.
Take us through what it was like for you. What was it like watching the Miami Florida State games growing up? What were the memories that you really had of that?
It was great memories, watching those games. I played an optimist football, and, all that day, that's all everybody talked about. Oh, Florida State, and you want to play tonight. So, everybody was big on that, big parties for games like that. So, growing up, this is one of the games that, you want to play in, you dream about playing in. So, it's just real special that, I get to play in it.
This is a pretty special one, too, because so many guys, and you're not the only one. No guys on the team. They're friends. They've grown up together. They've played high school football together. Is this, I don't want to say it's a friendly rivalry, but it's almost kind of like, well, you're playing against, people that you really care about.
Yeah. You playing against people you care about, but, growing up, we had this thing, there are no friends on the football field. So, that's how we go into this game, there's no friends on the football field. We going down there for one reason, and that's to win.
How important is it to really kind of buy into that mentality of it's still the next game, and the next game is the most important game, and you still have to, even though it's the hardest game to do it for, throw all the emotion out?
It's hard to throw the emotion out of it, but you got to have that one task at hand, and that's to win the game. And you got to keep your focus, going into the game, and just thinking about winning. Not thinking about just the crowd's gonna be crazy and this big rivalry game. You got to think about the most important thing, and that's winning the game.
You haven't lost any of your in-state rivals the past couple of years. I know you don't want to make this one, the first time it happens. How important is it to have the mentality is we just want to win the game. We want to be at our best on Saturday night. All
that begins in the middle of the week. During the week. That's preparing to win the game. I feel like if this team prepares to win the game, we go out on Saturday and do what we have to do. There won't be no question that we'll end out with a victory.
No matter what, Miami's always got athletes at every single part of the field. Talk about the challenge you're going against their defense. They've given up a lot of yards, but that's still a team with athletes that can really, shut you down if you're not at your best.
Yeah, like you said, they got a lot of tremendous players on their team, and they're going to come to play. Everybody wants to beat Florida State, So those guys, I'm pretty sure they're going to come to play. This is one of their games. I'm pretty sure they got marked on their calendar, that, we want to beat Florida State. So we just got to go down there and be ready.
Talk about you this past weekend. You had it was quite an incredible game for you. How much of that is you just want to make sure you maintain that week to week? You want to have that same consistency.
Yeah, that's you said the right thing. Just having consistency. You want to just keep those things going. And I'm gonna put the work in this weekend, and hopefully it works out for me on Saturday.
How's your senior year going so far?
It's a blessing, man. We lost one game. That's something that, I didn't want to happen, my senior year. But, it is what it is. I'm going to keep moving on week to week. We're going to try to get this win on Saturday.
It seems like whenever we ever have these press conferences on Monday, Coach Fisher seems to be really glowing about you a lot. Have you done anything differently in your game this year, especially that maybe you had, not to say you were bad, but by any means, but, you seem to be taking your game to a new level.
That's one thing in the offseason, I was trying to get myself to just take myself to a new level, and try to separate myself from everybody, just be that special guy, to bring people with me, that want to play hard, I always want to be that type of guy, and that was one of my goals this summer, and hopefully, like you say, Coach Fisher is saying I'm doing a good job at it, so I'm happy about that.